Hello, Facebook. Here we are. This is 2020, and this is my first episode of Knees in the Breeze, Texas Style, going live. And we are having some technical difficulties. Why wouldn't we? Vance, I know that you were on here. I'm going to tell him one more time on the phone to load back up. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully you can, you're here and you're seeing me. Hi, Bruno. Happy New Year to you too. So glad that you tuned in. At least I know that we're live and we're going to be going strong. Vance Patrick is going to be here talking to us tonight. Hi, Nancy. Happy New Year to you too. Thanks for tuning in. So glad to see you here on this new platform. I can't wait to get this year started. I see Vance. He's ready. He's in queue. I can't wait to introduce y'all. Vance, can you hear me? All right, good. All right, you're not live yet, but you're getting ready to be. I'm going to introduce you to everybody that's watching. Do you hear feedback? Yeah, I don't hear any. And good. I'm glad that you don't hear any either. I'm glad you see me. Okay, I'm going to bring you in. Ready? Okay. And there you are. Look at that, live and in person. Isn't Facebook wonderful?
It is.
Okay, so Vance, it's so good to see you.
You as well.
Thank you for taking your time out tonight to watch and to be part of this.
No, I really appreciate the opportunity to be part of this.
You know, I got to meet you once. And unfortunately, it wasn't under really good circumstances, but I was glad to see you as in any way that I could. And that was the first time I got to meet you. And I did a little bit of research about you because I was seeing some of the good deeds that you were doing. And you are all the way in Fort Worth, and I'm all the way on the east side of the Dallas Metroplex. So it's no wonder that I haven't run into you before, but we've got some good mutual friends that have told me about you, and everybody has good things to say. Thank you for all that you do.
Oh, no. Thank you all for being part of it. That's very humbling.
Yeah, well, you are a humble man, and you deserve to get some recognition. But more than that, I know that there are some good folks that would like to be a part of what you're doing. And I'm here to try to help you get that going and to grow that mission and perhaps help make it a better 2020 for what you're trying to do. We're not trying to glorify the man, we're trying to glorify the mission. And that's what this is all about. So thank you for being a part of all of this. I'm so glad that you are. People are starting to come in. I don't know if you could see, but Bruno's here and Angie and Nancy. And I'm so glad to see them here because last year I was having so many problems with doing this Facebook Live. Facebook kept trying to get us out of business, but I think through this platform, we're going to do even better this year.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So Vance, first of all, tell me a little bit about your background. I know that your mission is to work with homeless people, and you base most of what you do out of the Fort Worth area, but I think that you've got a little bit of background that may have brought you to where you are today, and you've also got some military history. Why don't we go back to let's just start with your family life and how your humble upbringings began. Where did are you a native of Texas?
Actually, I was born on the West Coast, and very, very short time being an Air Force brat. We did move around quite a bit, when I was very young, and moved from California to New York to Florida, lived in Europe, My father retired out of New Mexico, and I've been in Texas pretty much since 1980. So it is my home,
You
and
got
always
here as
will.
quick as you could, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was an Air Force brat too. I was I was born in Germany, and but my dad had a very unique position in the Air Force, so I lived there until I was 9, one house, and
Wow.
we moved from there to Southern California, and I went to school all the way through in one house in Southern California, and my mother still lives in that house. My
Oh
father
wow.
was a career Air Forceman. So he's the one that went around a lot, but I got to live in two houses as an Air Force brat, career Air Force brat. So I don't know what it's like to have moved to so many places, but I understand. I didn't do it myself. So after that, after being raised in an Air Force home, I understand that you too did your service.
Yeah, I did one tour in the Army. I signed up before I graduated high school. I didn't see any combat, so I don't have those bars, if you will. But I'm just like a lot of other people in the country. You sign up, you write that unwritten check for your service, and that's the way that kind of went. I was in and out before Desert Storm happened.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. It's nothing to apologize for. You're a part of the military, and we appreciate that you did that, that you were willing to do that. But take us from that point. Where were you after that, and what circumstances led you to where you are?
Uh, Essentially been here, worked around DFW for many, many years, and have always, I would say, for about the last 10 years or so, gathered up my extra stuff, blankets, coats, shoes, and handed them out directly to the homeless on the streets. And me and a couple of guys got together probably a little over a year ago, and we're starting to talk about trying to do something a little more publicly. And this one day out of the blue, I asked the guy that has backed us the most as far as his location to shoot off a starting point, Gary Mason, over Gary and Joanne Mason over at Fuel Bar. And from there, we have been doing this. In February will be the first year that we've done this completely. And it started out me actually grabbing some stuff from the grocery store one day and setting up at the picnic table outside, and a couple of guys joined in, and it kind of has rolled forward from there. Like I said, it's been a journey at best, and there's been a couple of groups that have been behind me, and I have made a lot of friends over this course of life, and it has definitely changed a few people's perspective that I deal with on like a daily or weekly basis. There's been a couple of guys that have been at first they're like, the whole typical persona that you have that I'm not doing this. People, they make their own choices and stuff like that, which may be true. And the guys finally gave in to peer pressure, if you will, and they came out. A couple of them have shed tears along with myself. It's very different when you go out and talk to people that have less means than we do as most normal people. There are people that choose their lifestyle and those that are forced out into the lifestyle. There are plenty of people that live in their vehicles. They have normal jobs the same as me and you, but they just don't have the means to afford, a simple apartment or stuff like that. So, me, I walk with a blind eye when it comes to that sort of thing, and just trying to raise awareness when it comes to all this.
Were you ever in that position yourself?
I have been, as part of my troubled youth. I did run away from home a few times. I've had my dealings with it, so it's stuff that we do during our course of life that are personal decisions, and I have experienced it. It may not have been for a long time or a long period of time, but nonetheless, I have actually slept under bridges, asking people for money or food. I know what that walk of life is.
Well, it's through our tragedies that open up our hearts and make us want to give to other people. So for that, I applaud you that you're trying to make a difference. And I know that you don't want any accolades for that. And this isn't about it isn't about putting a halo on your head. It's about bringing some awareness to what you're trying to do.
And
And
I appreciate
for that, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Do you have do you have a specific time of month that you reach out, or is this planned? In other words, is this something that you do sporadically, or bring us that don't know anything, give us some idea of what you do and when you do it and how you do it.
Generally, there is a writing group or a Facebook group, if you will. They're called Brothers and Sisters. Great group of people. They help a lot of different charities around the area, along with mine. And we'll get with the founding members, if you will, and we'll plan a date pretty much every month. And then we set up, we'll get with the bar owner, Gary, and make sure that everything is all in sync with, everything like that nature.
And when you say bar owner, who are you talking about?
Gary and Joanne Mason, owners
And
of Fuel.
of what bar?
Fuel 2.0. They're over on Belknap Street, just off of Sylvania in downtown Fort Worth.
Okay.
Great people, very great people.
And so what role do they play in this?
Gary generally buys all of the lunch meat, bread, cheese, and then everybody else brings in, chips or cookies, crackers, that sort of thing. We actually make like a sack lunch sort of thing. And then we've started recently doing toiletry bags for people, shampoo, soap, female hygiene products, that sort of thing that most people don't have access to 100%.
Mm-hmm.
We also take in donations for any type of clothing, shoes, whether it be new or used. Like right now, it's a little chilly outside, so we do blankets, sleeping bags, shampoo, soap, that sort of thing. A lot of times I will meet up with people and pick up stuff during the course of the month when we're not in between runs. And we'll gather up. We'll make all the bags in person. And then generally there's between 1 and 5 vehicles, depending on how much we have to take out. And we will load up the trucks. A couple motorcycles will be out front. And, we have anywhere from 30 to, I think the most we've had is like 60 bikes at one time.
Mm.
And we will roll over there off of East Lancaster over in the Mission District, just outside of downtown Fort Worth. and we will go park, and we will spend a couple hours out there handing out stuff, talking with people, and it really, really is a blip. It's very humbling.
So anybody could drop off donations at any time over to Fuel 2.0.
Yes, that that can be done, or they can get a hold of me personally, and I can meet them up or pick them up directly, or they can drop them off with the friends of mine, that sort of thing.
So it's for Bruno is asking, it's called Fuel 2.0 and it's in Fort Worth.
Yes,
Do you happen to know what the address is?
I know it's on East Belknap. I don't have the
Okay.
exact number address.
Belknap is the name of the street for anybody that is looking up a link. And so those folks will take in any donations if they happen to be by there. They can bring toiletries, or I think I read something about non-perishable items, right? Or also individually bagged items that would work,
Yes.
like chips or sealed things, right? Snacks or fruit like apples or oranges,
Yeah,
bananas.
that sort of thing is, basically, because most people that live in that situation, they don't have the means to cook or warm up food, so we just take what can be eaten on the spot, or maybe put in their backpack and eaten, later that day, or whatever the case. We also take, cases of water. Um, One of the friends of ours, Kaylee, she has arrangements with Starbucks, and they will donate either coffee, depending on if it's cold or hot, or lemonade, and we'll set up a table, and we'll have 15, 20 gallons, and we'll go through it in 20, 30 minutes, and
Right.
it's pretty astonishing, considering the fact of 5 or 6 ounce cup at a time.
Do you go to the same place every time, or do
Yes.
you? Yeah. Okay. And so I was trying to share our video on different pages, and I might have missed what you said. Do you go every Saturday, or do you go once a month, or when do you go?
Normally we arrange it for once a month. That way it's not. We were trying to do it every weekend when we first started. It just got very overwhelming for everybody, so we stepped back to like once a month, and we've just kept it on that track, except for Christmas. Um, Dealing with all the toy runs and the other charity drives. I just personally went out there and did stuff myself during Thanksgiving and Christmas time.
I know you did. I know you did. And it was a lot of competition with all the other things that are going on, which is not a bad thing. That just means that the biker community is such a giving community that they're busy helping and spreading themselves out with all the other things that are going on. But besides Christmas, people are still in need, and we tend to focus on Christmas time and Thanksgiving to be generous. But people are still in the same situation in January, and
That is true.
that's why we really are thankful for you that stays diligent and keeps working, no matter whether it's a holiday or not. So this coming Saturday, you're going to be getting together with a group of people, and you'll be making sandwiches first, right? And before you go out.
Yes, we will meet up there at Fuel. We set everything up, and we make everything there on the spot. We do all the sandwiches, put them in bags, then individually bag everything up. Then we'll tally what we have and get everybody. We do like a little group meeting, and then we basically line up and we roll out and we roll down the road just like any other group ride or anything of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Our blockers and spotters and dusters.
Right.
And
for those of you that are listening, we're talking about motorcycle terms. So there's a lot of bikers that show up. And you don't have to be a biker to show up, but it tends to be that's who our community is. So the bikers show up, and we've got riders that will take care of the groups. They're called our spotters, and all the people that will help us route out and stay together and stay safe and show a unity.
yeah, we definitely do. But everybody is welcome. Um, we've had several different groups, motorcycle clubs come by, and just like when we did our major DFW tour run, I've never seen such a diverse group of people together. When we met up there in Arlington, you have all these different factions and different colors and clubs and patches, but they all put aside their differences and come together for a common cause, helping children out, which
Right.
is one of the best things in the world. People do not understand that.
I've been getting over a little bit of a cold. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's floating around.
Sorry. Right. So that brings me to this. When we think about children, or we think about fallen riders or veterans, our heart goes out. But there seems to be a stigma about helping someone that is indigent or someone that's homeless. And people tend to not be as sympathetic when it comes to that group of our society. And that is unfortunate. But just as with any group of people, there are a lot of factors that cause someone to be homeless. And why don't you help explain some of that for those of us that don't know all of the details?
I've thought about that for the last couple of days, and I have gone down there off of Lancaster several times just by myself, just to go walk around and talk to people and just kind of get a feel for what's going on these days, because times change along with people. I've come across people that have very severe habits, whether it be alcohol or drugs. And then there are other people that have illnesses that have forced them away from their normal lifestyle. I've come across people that have had strokes, have lost the use of limbs, ability to function correctly in what we call a normal society. And unfortunately, they either give up, not on themselves, just in general, and sometimes family can't take other folks in, and I understand those stipulations. But like I said, you go down there and you start talking to people and getting to learn, there are a lot of actual working folk that live out of their vehicles or in a tent and still go to work every single day. They just don't have the means. Maybe they don't have the credit or something like that to purchase a home or rent a place. And, there we have it.
I know. And I have searched my own soul about this myself. Our group, I had a group of people that did a mission trip, and it happened to be in Fort Worth. And for the first time, I went down and did the same thing. And I don't like to talk about the good stuff, like going down and feeding people that need to be fed. I hate saying feeding the homeless. These are people, And I don't like having the putting people into calling them the homeless. It is like it dehumanizes them. These are people that don't have homes. That's I would rather say that. These are people that are on hard times, or people that are living on streets. They might be living in cars, they might be living in someone else's backyard. They're not all the same. And I learned by going there and helping people that there are a lot of different walks of life. There are people that are kind of used to the system. I saw people show up in cars and pile out of the car and go get all the free stuff. And then I saw people that were severely mentally handicapped that really couldn't fend for themselves if they wanted to. And I saw people with small children, and I saw people that had severe addictions. I actually spent the whole day and watched and talked to people, sat down with people and spoke to them, hugged people, took my time, because these are people.
Yes.
And I saw a big difference in different aspects. Some people were really scared, and others were really used to the system. So I have a new appreciation also. I used to be afraid, and I'm not afraid anymore. I mean, cautious, just like you would have to be anywhere. When you go anywhere, you have to be cautious. But these are just people
Yes,
with a need.
you know,
Whatever their need, whatever the reason is, this is not something that they've chosen. Whether that's a hard subject. Maybe
it
they
is.
have chosen to not participate in being a productive member of society, but that might have been their only choice, because they don't have the mental capacity, or maybe they don't have the means to get a job and support themselves. So it's a big difference between saying that someone chooses to be on hard times because they don't choose it. They fall victim to whatever it is. And it's important for people to understand the differences. That's all. That's all. I hate it. And I hate it. But it's a big dilemma in our society. And so I appreciate that you're trying to make a difference. And I know there are a lot of people that want to help. And so maybe just putting it out there, and we'll talk about it some more. I hope to be there on Saturday. And I'll see you at Fuel 2.0. At what time?
The bar itself opens up at 11 a.m. We're starting officially at noon, and with the addition of what we're doing this week, afterwards, a couple of the patrons that have helped me tremendously during this last year are doing a fish fry. They're at Fuel after we arrive back.
Okay.
So, um, it'd be probably fried catfish and fries to go along with the camaraderie after he.
Awesome. So will part of those proceeds go to your mission?
Uh, I'm not sure how all that is working out.
Okay. All right. That's okay. Not everyone is cut out to actually go with you and pass out donations, but people are used for different ways, right? They might just want to come and donate, or possibly they want to come and be part of the fellowship afterwards. So not everyone is cut out for everything, but if they want to be a part of it, there's certainly a way that people can get involved.
Absolutely. Anything, we take money generally. Generally, I prefer momentary physical items, I guess you would say. Um, Generally, if anything money wise is given to me, I will run down local Wally World or whatever on the spot if we need extra bread, extra meat. If we run low during that course of the time, I'll run up to the store or send somebody out there, buy that. If we have extra funds left over, we buy blankets or socks, stuff that can be handed out and actually used and not, it'll have a genuine effect.
I know it does. I know it does. And Dale just came on and he said something about too many vets take their own lives. And in a roundabout way, with suicide prevention, helping people that are on their on hard times really does help save lives. It isn't just a meal or not just a blanket, but it's extending a hand and maybe making people feel like there is hope, right?
Yes. That's one of those things. Like if you're out in the country, you're driving down the road, most people will raise a finger or raise a hand and wave at you as you're going by. And that is the mentality I was brought up with. Try to smile. Sometimes it doesn't always work, but in most cases, if you smile at somebody else, even when they're not feeling good or down on their luck, that smile might be enough to break somebody's ill spirit, and make them grunge on through the next day or whatever. And I do know about the gentleman you were just mentioning, the 22 Kill Foundation. I went on that ride. I think it was in November or December, and we had almost 1,500 bikes, running around Dallas, supporting the veteran awareness, and unfortunately, it is a horrible, horrible thing. We do have a tremendous amount of vets that have taken to the streets, and I don't want to make this political or anything, but we do have a lot of folks on that aspect, ex-military,
that's what my ring is for. It's always to bring awareness to that. This is a 22 kill ring. I absolutely support that cause, and you're right. And it can become political very quickly, and especially in light of what's going on right now in Iran. It's just we can be very political at the moment, but let's leave that behind.
Yeah,
Just for the purposes of this. Let's bring it back down again. By the way, happy birthday. I understand this is the eve of your birthday tomorrow. Turning a half a century old or something like that, I hear.
Yeah, I'll be 49, so I've got that 1 year left to stay under that 50-cent piece.
You do. Well, congratulations. I don't know. I don't know that I'll admit to that, but I'll just wish you a happy birthday instead. Listen, you're welcome. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for being on this program and helping to bring some awareness to what you do. This Saturday at Fuel 2.0 in Fort Worth, and scroll through the comments, you'll see the address. It officially starts at 11 o'clock, but we're going to be there a little bit early and get everything ready, and then take off as a group and start to hand things out. So Julie Madden says clothes, blankets, and anything that can be donated. Let's put her on here. She said anything that could be contributed to this event and any event of any month. You can get in touch with me, or please also follow Vance Patrick on Facebook and look for his efforts there. Let's all get together as a group and make a difference. Thank you so much for heading this up. I appreciate it tonight, and you did great.
I do appreciate it. If I can give a shout out, if I can, to a couple people.
Yes, please do.
Um, First off, a friend of mine, well, I'll call him Lippy. His name is Doug Lippert. He has been
Lippy. Yeah, Lippy is a friend of mine.
he's been very instrumental into, if you will, driving a force behind my ass. Sorry for my language, but and of course, to Joanne, and Gary Mason, and then the the bartenders that we've had there at Fuel, AJ and Sarah, very, very instrumental. They have to put up with all of us unruly bikers when we come in there in a big, large group like that, and hats off to them, because without any of them, um, a lot of this wouldn't be possible. They give us a home to do this out of. A lot of people may be like, that's a bar, blah blah blah, and that's not what it's about. When we do that, it is a starting off point for doing excellent work in our own community.
Right. It's a starting point. It's a gathering point. It's no one's judging you on that, and if they are, they don't have any right to be.
There you go.
And anything else that you wanted to add while we're at it?
The only thing I can say is thank you for all that have participated in the past. For the future, it is a wonderful thing. We'll have a group that I'm riding with now. Is called Brothers and Sisters. Like I said, they very instrumental in helping Big Brothers and Sisters Foundation themselves. Cook's Children, they made a very sizable donation that they gathered up all year this last year.
Yes, they did.
Very wonderful group of people.
Yes, they are. I've had the pleasure of riding with them, and I absolutely agree. It's thanks to people like you and the group that help bring this community together and help make a difference.
That is a fact.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go for the evening. And thank you, sir, for all that you do. Thanks for being here tonight. And I hope to see you on Saturday. I'm going to make a commitment. I will see you Saturday unless work gets in the way. I will be there.
I do appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I appreciate you being here. Okay, sir. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for our first episode of Knees in the Breeze. Texas Style goes live on Tuesday Night Live. If anyone has anyone that they would like me to interview, please let me know in the comments below, or hit me up on Facebook Messenger, and we will help bring the good causes of this community to light. All right, everybody. Good night. Keep your knees in the breeze, and don't forget to wear your helmet doing it. Good night, all.
Y'all have a good evening.